center. They do a lot for their community, but they are in need of volunteers. They work with a small staff, so if anybody knows of anybody in that area that has time to donate to the senior center, that would be beneficial. They serve their community on Wednesdays and Fridays at 11:30, but they also deliver meals to homebound people Monday through Fridays. Spirit Valley Town Hall, thank you to everybody that worked that event, from the elected officials to county employees to the people that were in charge of different groups. The community came out of that event with a lot of helpful information from all of our elected officials. And I would actually encourage everybody to find who your PC is or your county commissioner and ask them to hold that type of an information session. We were welcoming our Senator Hart, who we haven't heard speak post-season because it was his first term, as well as Hawkins. And then we got a lot of useful information from our county employees and found out how much we need to brush up on who is elected in our county, because we all failed that test mostly. I do want to give a response. Some people asked me follow-up questions on elections after that event. So I'm going to give some answers, with all of them leading to please contact Mike Rosedale in the clerk's office. So one of the questions was about 16-year-olds, which a lot of people didn't know. 16-year-olds can be poll workers. They just can't vote. And so that might be a good way of pulling younger people into our system by education through the elections office, but also being able to be involved, and they might be excited to vote. So definitely that was something new for a lot of people. The clerk says that he makes sure to disseminate that information over the radio when he's given that opportunity. Another question that was asked was, how does a person become a judge? And so the answer is summarized, so it's not a quote, that it is a case-by-case basis. They typically look for those persons who've participated multiple times who are more familiar with the system to become judges. If you have any more specific questions, go ahead and ask. One of the things that I want to clarify is we always need poll workers. So it allows us to have the flexibility when we need people to go to different precincts, but also when we see people that might be making routine errors, but we'll need someone to replace them. So I want to encourage everybody, if you have the time, even if they don't need a poll worker for the election that you're currently thinking, there's always another one coming up. After May, there's going to be one in November. And so signing up to be a poll worker and going through that training before we get to that point is going to be helpful to the community. I did follow up with the Attorney General's office regarding training. They are hoping to finish out their last few reports on Bonner County this week. And hopefully by the end of this week, they will be giving me a date when they can come out and do training to the community and employees on open meeting. So a community member mentioned a concern regarding Sandpoint and its water system, water sewer. So I went and had a meeting, and I'm going to read it because I made sure that I didn't get anything wrong as I summarize what took place. So the purpose of the meeting was to discuss the wastewater system of the city of Sandpoint. Concerns were brought forth during a county business meeting from members of the public. The concern was that the system within the city of Sandpoint is failing. The constituent wanted the county to be aware of the issue related to the system. So I met with Jennifer Stapleton, who is the City of Sandpoint Administrator, and Greg Lanning, the City of Sandpoint Utility Director. The City of Sandpoint has reviewed their current system and determined that they require an upgrade to the system to address the increase in water that must be treated due to the fluctuations in snow and rainfall, in addition to the increase in population. The City of Sandpoint has a need for a system that can tolerate 8 million gallons per day. The City of Sandpoint has developed a plan which is available on their website for review. And so if you go on master plans, there's like 5 different types of master plans, and everything related to wastewater is there for you to review. The current estimated cost for the upgrade is $65 million. The city is actively managing each stage of funding to include banking options for this type of upgrade and rate adjustments. There is no risk that the City of Sandpoint will fail to appropriately address the issues regarding wastewater, resulting in the county having to pay the bill. One of the current issues that is impacting funding is the fact that the current system has not failed due to interventions identified and implemented by the city. As such, other systems throughout the state of Idaho have received priority review, response, and funding. The City of Sandpoint does anticipate the need to bring the issue before the public within the next few years. However, each step is being managed by the city. The city does indicate a need to address the area of city impact with the county in the coming years. And after having this discussion with the city, one of the things that we walked away with was to have a collaborative meeting monthly with myself and the City of Sandpoint so we can make sure that we're addressing issues and concerns from both departments. And so hopefully, and I am going to ask, does that answer all of your concerns since you're the one who asked me, or do you have an additional question?
No, if you're satisfied that the county residents are not going to be stuck paying the bill, that satisfies my concern.
And they have
primary concern.
Okay, and they have a lot of. We were able to go through their process of that particular system, and I don't think that there is any risk. One of the things that they discussed is there's a certain type of loan that you take where it kind of extends that repayment period. So they're paying attention to their funding, and if you live in Sandpoint, you probably have seen a little bit of that rate hike already, and that's part of that adjustment of recognizing what they need. And
I am concerned that they're not going to do anything until it fails.
So in the statement was concerned that they're not going to do anything until it fails. And that's part of the problem, is that they actually are doing things to prevent it from failing. And so they're not rising to the sense of urgency. So they have done a few interventions. And I am going to go off script because I think I remember this one correctly. One of the things they did was there was a period of time when you sold your home that you had to do an upgrade, but then they determined that that wasn't really beneficial, and then they stopped doing that process. So I'll reserve the right to say maybe I said it wrong, but I know Jennifer's watching, so I think I did that one right. So, but they are watching, and then I'll meet with them monthly, and that will be something that I'll be able to give you reports on, is just the state of that particular system. So there's a lot going on in the month of May and June. So I will not be in the county for the rest of this week. We have a graduation that we're going to. May 3rd for my district, District 2, West Bonner County levy is a big topic. So I want to make sure everybody knows of the events that the school is putting forward. May 3rd, there is a board meeting regarding the budget that is going to be at the district office. For a lot of people that had questions at our town hall about the state has now released what they're going to give to the school, but the levy was written before that, that might be a good setting to have that discussion with that particular board. On May 9th, the board will have another meeting at the Blanchard Grange at 6:30. On May 11th, they'll have a meeting at the Laclede Community Center at 6 p.m. Please vote on May 16th or go downstairs and do your early voting. May 20th is Blanchard Cemetery Cleanup Day. We need you guys, to all of the people in our area, bring all your tools. We are giving away free pine needles and pine cones to all who attend. That is our request, so bring your bag too. May 23rd, IAC Spring Training in Coeur d'Alene. This is going to be the same day of our business meeting. So I will participate with our business meeting via Zoom, but the business meeting is going to have a hard stop because we have to make it down to that conference if you're in this particular building. But on the same day, on the 23rd, there's the Idaho State Tax Commission Town Hall, which is downstairs at 9 a.m. If you're a member of the public, I would recommend that you attend that. There have been a lot of changes, and I know that our assessor has addressed that in some of the ways he's sending that letter out, but that would be a really good opportunity to attend the town hall with the Idaho Tax Commission. On June 15th, at the Rotary Center, we will be doing the Old Town follow-up post our meeting. That is going to be at 4 p.m. And then June 20th, please pay your taxes. If you have a problem paying your taxes, please see Clarissa. And as we know now, that interest started accruing in January. So we want to make sure if you have an issue that you reach out to Clarissa. She can help you understand that process. One of the other things to note is solid waste. Board of County Commissioners is calling for letters of interest from persons interested in serving on the Bonner County Solid Waste Advisory Committee. There's 2 positions, one from District 1, that's Sagal area, and one from District 3, the Sandpoint area. These applications are due by May 5th. So as we look to our next agenda, I don't know how much we'll be able to get out because it is a tight agenda, but I want to put on the agenda a process by which we select people for these committees so that we can have consistency throughout selection on committees. So that is all I have for you on this update.